Good morning from beautiful northern Wyoming. I'm out for another training session with my prairie falcon Cosmo. She's coming along fairly well. Chasing pigeons a little bit harder, and I'm transitioning now to having my major focus be on pitch, getting her to go higher. So we're just starting on that. And she's her confidence level and her flying abilities are getting a little higher. That was evidenced by the last time I flew her, where when she came into the lure, I was swinging it, not just dragging it on the ground, and she bound to it in the air. So that shows she's developing in first stages of stooping the lure. So that'll come, and once that happens, that'll increase her footing flying ability dramatically quickly, and of course her conditioning as well. But in addition to Cosmo, I've got Clyde, my 10-year-old jerkin. He's I pulled him out of the chamber from where he was molting. I free-lofted him during the molt, and they get a little bit wild, so I pull them out and kind of reman them and cut their weight, and he's back down and ready for his first flight. We'll get up here to a nice open spot and give it a go. So for my intermute birds, I don't, well, after their first molt I do a credence, but after that I don't bother. I know what their weight needs to be and when their head's in order by the way they're acting. So I just take them out and fly them. Cosmo wants to go, but I'm not going to fly her first. I'm going to fly Clyde first. So she's going to have a little lesson in patience. My pigeon string untangled here. I'm taking a pigeon on a string with me as a just in case. I always do that on the first flight of the year. I've never had to use one, not on the first flight. I have obviously other times in my life, but it's nice for just peace of mind. I'm not going to do anything fancy with Clyde, not even going to toss him any pigeons. Just going to put them on the truck, let them fly out, make a half circle or a circle, and pull out the lure. Nice and simple, just to make sure his head's back in the game and get him back in the routine. We'll do more exciting stuff tomorrow. Clyde always starts from the truck. It's a habit he developed in his first year when I flew him in a cast with a Bonnie. And it just kind of stuck, so I let it. It's no big deal. Give him a minute to go. If he doesn't go pretty quick, I'll just pull out the lure and call him in. This isn't about, as I said, any kind of grand flight. It's about getting his head back in the routine. They never forget anything. Just want that cooperation level there. Run, yep. wants to hunt. Okay, nothing grand or spectacular, as I said. Got his food and Cosmo's. I don't have to worry about which is which because they're getting the exact same amount, 2.5 ounces each. Yeah, he's a bigger bird, but he's obviously doing a lot less flying today than she's going to do, so he doesn't need as much. Hey, buddy. Yeah, just like you never stopped walking, nothing changed, nothing odd, just go for it. My old bird, who sadly is so old he can't even fly anymore, he's 26 years old, Pinky, he would come out of the chamber in quite good condition. He's a gyr peregrine hybrid, well technically a peregrine gyr, but and I would just take him, drop his weight, you know, given amount of time before duck season started so that he was at weight for the first day duck season, take him out and put him up over a pond, and he'd go up to 400 or 500 feet that very first flight and kill a duck. Clyde takes a little more conditioning, a little bit bigger bird. And Clyde, being a normal jerkin, needs to be hooded immediately upon finishing his meal. Yep, as he's swallowing the last bite, he gets hooded. He seemed pretty mellow today. He probably would stay, but I get that habit of wanting to bait off the glove and go again. Just the opposite of Cosmo. Cosmo, you want to, typical prairie falcon, you want to let her make sure she knows all the food is gone. Backpack. There we go. Sorry about that, Clyde. Couldn't get the transmitter off there. Okay, I'll go put a fresh battery in this GPS, and don't need this for Cosmo. Get her set up, get after her. Okay. GPS on, backup transmitter on her tail is on. Got my pigeons. Got her hog food, the lure. There we go. I'm clumsy. She's a little more vocal because she had to wait. All the new things we gotta learn. breeze this morning, maybe 2 or 3 miles an hour. She's ready to start flying in a little bit of wind. It'd be nice if we get like a 10-mile-an-hour wind or so to let her learn how to do that. Okay, since we're shaping pitch now, we're not going to toss pigeons when she's coming at me or going down, only when she's going up and away. Not when she's looking and asking. And I also want to wait a little bit before tossing the first one to get her used to having to wait on and wait, because it takes a little bit to didn't chase that one super hard because I tossed it when she was going up and away. She's ready for this, but just barely. Okay, got one more to... I'm going to toss it when she's going up and away, but I'm going to toss it on the ground to excite her more. They like it when you toss them on the ground because they think they can catch them easier. There we go, she was going up and away, and then she chased it harder. See if she's up for catching it in the air again. She missed, she was trying. Got it, touched it. There you go, good girl. So we're technically starting to stoop the lure. It was 2 passes, wasn't much. And they were slow and clumsy, but you gotta start somewhere. Where you going? You can't bring the lure with you. There you go. Much different manners, of course, than Clyde. Mantling doesn't bother me per se. It's sort of a sign of distrust, which is, you know, obviously indicating something. But as far as falconry goes, I don't care about the aesthetics. I do care if it gets in the way of the falconry. And if they mantle too much, it just makes it hard to feed them. You know, it gets in the way of everything. And a lot of times it's just a little step between mantling and trying to bait out the glove with food and other stuff like that. So it's more of an indicator that things aren't quite happy in the bird's brain, more so than anything to me. I've been wondering why she's turned out differently than birds I've raised the same way in the past. I've done it 3 different times, and I've had a friend that's done it once, and those birds all turned out with better manners than her. And obviously there could be very individual differences, which is likely the culprit, but the one big difference, all those other times there were 2 chicks raised together. It was never done with just one until her. She was raised by herself, and there were times when she was being raised that she exhibited behavior, the best I can describe is loneliness. She would scream, food beg, and if nobody was in the room with her, and I would walk in the room, or my wife would walk in the room, and then she would stop. And other times that she seemed to crave companionship, and there might be more to having a sibling with him than I've ever thought. And she might have kind of put me in the sibling role. So that might be why she behaves this way, because she would definitely behave this way to her sibling. She knows I'm not parent, because she definitely treats birds differently than me. She food begs maniacally at them and acts completely differently to them than she does me. You got the wandering eyes, girl. You're not going to go anywhere, are you? It's all gone. Come for your hood. Okay. You got your tail all. See, this is... She's got her tail between her legs. I don't care for that when they mantle. It'll be hard on feathers. She is calming down after the flight quicker. She's still kind of puffed out. A little bit of that mantling behavior is still in her brain, but it's mostly gone. Where before she would be mantling more so, and then walking the perch, wanting to go places. I'd have to drive quick to get her out of that mode in her head, and she's mostly been better about it lately. Everything gets better the more you do it. Get them in the field more. Step up here. You got a hold of her. Jess is in the swivels there, and kind of hoping it's food, but she knows it's not, but she's hoping. I gotta turn off her tail mount. I frequently forget to turn off her backup transmitter. I do that with all birds, and then the batteries run dead. It's kind of annoying. I have to replace them. Anyway, I'm gonna look at the data, see how much she flew. Okay, 5,082 or 84 feet total distance. Let's see what her maximum pitch was. 51 grand whole feet. So, no great height, but we're just starting on that. Anyway, well, I'll run my dogs a bit and head home and get some stuff done. Well, things went pretty much exactly as I expected this morning with the birds. Clyde, as I said, wasn't going to be anything spectacular, and it wasn't. He came to the lure nice, stepped up, was a gentleman. I'll toss him some pigeons, and do a little bit more tomorrow. We've got, let's see, today is the 9th of September. I think if I remember right, I'll obviously double check before I hawk, but I think the duck season opens 18th. So that gives me just about the right amount of time to get Clyde into shape for duck season. He won't be in as much shape as he's gonna be, but I can't, with him, get him in super good shape on pigeons because he gets bored with pigeons. And as his conditioning increases and his pitch goes up, he'll get high enough to be able to spot a pond somewhere around here with ducks on it. And he knows that I'm just tossing pigeons, and that's kind of boring. And he'll go wade on over the pond and want to hunt ducks. He just loves to hunt. So I can't push him too long on the pigeons because he doesn't have the patience for it. But we need to get him in a little bit better shape before we show him some ducks. And so we'll have a good little over a week to do that. So it'll be about perfect. And Cosmo's coming along. I should have, the first two pigeons I tossed, I should have tossed on the ground to get her more excited to chase them. That would have helped. I'll have to keep doing that for a little while yet, because she's still not, it's not that she's doesn't want to catch the pigeon. She really would like to, but when they blast off hard like that, she knows she doesn't have the speed yet or the flying ability to catch them. It's a confidence thing. And if they don't have the confidence, they're not going to try. So the tossing on the ground, it slows it up, it makes it look hindered, and it slows it up as she's turns and comes back before it gets up in the air, so she's closer to it when she's chasing it, and gets her a little bit more excited. So I'll keep doing that for a while. So I want her to chase them harder because it's a bigger reward, and she'll chase them out, and it gets her out away from me farther and up higher, and then it's part of helping get her to go up. So anyway, things are progressing nicely. I'm pretty happy with everything. I would prefer if she didn't mantle and scream, but it's manageable. It's not horrible. And all in all, we're cruising along pretty well. I'm getting excited about the season starting here pretty quick. Oh, Pongo's up here on point on something. I didn't put any pigeons out, so this must be a wild bird of some sort. This is really good. Let's see what he's got. It's probably a meadowlark or something. And it's where I generally plant pigeons. So he might be doing it from memory and hopefulness. And that's where I flew the birds too. So there might be a bunch of pigeon feathers dropped and stuff. Yeah, I think it's where I was feeding the birds on the fist. That scent was there, and the pigeon scent and everything. That's good, he got birdie. Anyway, we're gonna run them just a little bit more, head home, and as always, thank you for watching.